Welcome back, Pacers. I'm Caitlin Richards,
I'm Alex Garrison.
I'm Will Dalton.
Andre Tidwell.
and this is Peace Talks. Today is class registration day for juniors and also election day. Don't forget to go to the polls and vote. Wednesday, November 7th is registration day for sophomores. There's a second internship information session from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in Main 14.
Also on the 7th, it's spoken word night with national slam poet Ebony Stewart and student open mic from 7 to 8:30 p.m. in Pacer Hub Student Commons. On Thursday, November 8th is class registration day for first years. There is also going to be a Campus Escapes escape room, totally tubular 80s party from 6 to 10 p.m. in Flow 320.
This week in Peace Sports, we got a little bit to talk about. Peace Volleyball wrapped up their season in a USA South semifinal loss against Piedmont College. They lost 15-12. They had a historic season this year, going 24-6 overall and 15-1 in conference play. They were also co-divisional champions of the USA South Conference, and this was a very, big season for them. And congrats to volleyball. Also, Peace Men's Soccer had 5 players named to the USA South All-Conference team. They also had 2 that were in second All-Conference and 1 in third All-Conference. Outside of Peace, the Pittsburgh Steelers running back Le'Veon Bell has yet to come up with an agreement with the team. He has till November 13th to come up with a new contract to interplay with the team, and his time is running short. The Steelers will play the Panthers this Thursday night in Pittsburgh. Speaking of the Panthers, they set a franchise record this week in points scored in the first half with 35. They also won that game. They beat the Buccaneers 42-28. Boxer Floyd Mayweather is coming out of retirement for the second time. He announced he'll be making his MMA debut December 31st in Tokyo. The popular game Fortnite has merged with the NFL. They are going to be having NFL jersey themed outfits for your player to wear in Fortnite, so a lot of sports fans are going to be looking forward to that. I know I am. And that's all for sports. Join us again next week.
This week, we're going to talk about school a little bit. So I was thinking the other day, does school hold you back or push you forward? What do y'all think?
Back. It holds you back.
Can you explain why?
Because 80% of the things they're teaching us, you're never going to use. Like, if you're going to school, like, to be a doctor or something like that, like, I get it. But, I don't know, there's just certain things, like, a lot of the stuff you take in school you don't need. Thoughts?
I don't really know. I think it kind of just depends on the situation.
Yeah, depends on what you're wanting to do.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of depends on the school, too.
I would
True.
say if you know
True.
exactly what you want to do, and if you're taking those classes that will give you the right education for that certain degree and what you want to do for a career, then it will definitely push you forward, because every day you're being motivated to get to that end goal by going to the classes that are your dream, where you want to get to.
If you have teachers who are pushing you that way, too,
Yeah.
push you forward. But if you have teachers that are constantly telling you can't do it, then obviously they're pushing you back.
And then I think it's hard because it's the stuff that you don't really think about when going into your career. And it's if you have an exam in that class, with all the exams and stuff, it's hard to really be pushed forward and feel motivated to keep going.
I think a lot of it also depends, how I said before, on the school. Because some schools have, programs, in high schools or whatever, where they have certain programs if you need extra help, or they have programs where if you're, say, honors or advanced and you need that. And I feel like if you have those choices, that pushes you forward. But if you're at a school that doesn't have that, then it's almost pushing you back. Because if you need that help or you need that advance, then you're not getting it when you need it.
I think it depends on the student body, too, because the student body can really help you go forward, or that could make you feel unmotivated to do things as well. So if you have a lot of friends and a lot of students participating in things on campus, then that helps.
Yeah, so it kind of goes back to that question you always heard in class from some student. What is this going to help me do in real life? I know y'all all heard that in the classroom
Oh, yeah.
before.
Yeah, I feel that.
So you think when you're in elementary, middle, high school, they don't require you to take personal finance.
Yeah.
Why?
That's what I'm saying. Like things like financial related, just things like that. I feel like need to be more emphasized, and they're not.
They don't have you take those type of classes, but they have you take geometry.
Yeah,
when
like
you know you're not going to want to do anything with shapes in the future.
there's just it needs to be like more classes are based on like what you're doing. Like,
Well, and stuff that can help you in the future.
yeah,
Like learning how
Both.
to write a check, learning how
correct. Sign a contract. They don't teach us that.
I think school, instead of worrying about like GPA, like what GPA you need to make to get into this university, stuff like that, instead of worrying about that from earlier on, they should concentrate on like kind of seeing students and what their potential is, and like kind of getting the students to think about what would they want to do with the grades set aside, so the students don't have that pressure and stress early on, and they can concentrate on really finding themselves and discovering what they would want to do as a career.
But that's not, unfortunately, that's not the format schools are put in.
Yeah.
Schools is based on, unfortunately, where everything else is based on. It's based on money.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just like college. Where we're at, they're trying to get all the money they can out of us with or without us passing. That's the bottom line. It's we got us as students got to have the brain smart enough to say they're going to quote unquote pimp us, so we're going to pimp them too, just like they're trying to do us. We're going to get mentally anyway. We're going to get all we can mentally and financially out of the university like they're going to get out of us. Because it's like you go through elementary, middle school, high school. You're not taught, unless you know the class to take, how to run a business, how to fill out contracts for corporations or fill out contracts for what field you're going in. They don't teach you the business behind the field you're trying to go in. And it's just a continuous cycle of getting taught things you don't need to get where you need to be. And they don't really focus on trying to build you as a person, like you said. They just focus on what grade you need to get out of this class and on to the next class.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I mean, when you really look around, some of the most successful people on this planet never went to college or flunked out of college, and they're very high advocates for you're essentially getting it's a piece of paper. Your degree is just a piece of paper, and you come out with a high debt. That's all it is. Like, it just depends on the situation, I think.
Yeah, it's like this Einstein quote. I don't know if y'all heard it, but it's if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, its whole life it will believe that it's stupid. He used that quote to define our education system, because it's constantly classes teaching us how to do everything except what we need or want to do. So it's making us think we're stupid because of these numbers, these ACTs, SATs, standardized tests, EOGs, EOCs. All these tests, they testing us, making us look like numbers instead of people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really kind of demeaning us in a way, because they look at us as numbers on a scale instead of different humans with different personalities and different aspects out of life that we can put impact on the world that we live in. So what is this kind of really about at times? Just a question.
And then I think it's sad too, because with the more testing, more exams, all that stuff, even in elementary school, it causes more anxiety, depression, all of that stuff. And so that really takes a toll on each individual.
And now we're growing up in the era of the internet where we see everything. That's the good and the bad of the internet calling into our lives. Everything that we see is in front of us as soon as you wake up in the morning. That's also what causes that depression and anxiety. It's easy to get distracted so well because you can just go on, type in Facebook, type in Google, type in Instagram, any social media or just a search engine, what you want to know, what you want to find out. You might find out things you don't even want to know about, and that's scary.
I just think a lot of the school system stuff with fast-paced learning, it's like they're trying to get you to learn more in a shorter amount of time, but it's not working, because it's like you could learn that as well as you can, but then by the time you really get a concept of it, you're moving on to the next test. So really, instead of digging deep of why and knowing exactly how to do things, it's just you're constantly being tested, and then you forget some of the stuff by the final exam, which is weighted the most. So I think it goes back to like each class, each university, each school, like just depending on the material they're using.
And how they go about it.
Well, it's like the SATs and ACTs and all these tests that you have to do so well on to get into a good school that you want to get into. So what if I'm the type of person, I've got, straight A's and B's, really good grades, but, I do crappy on the SAT or ACT, so I'm screwed. Like, to me, that's just, I don't get it.
And it's a lot of pressure in high school when it's
yeah.
you even have really good grades in high school classes. But like you said, like the SAT and now like the PSAT, stuff like the ACT. And it's like you see a number and for a high schooler, just a number puts a toll on you.
Yeah.
And it's like you automatically get into your head, well, I'm not going to be accepted into this place. And then it starts like
Because of this one thing.
just
one
because
number
grade,
basically decides what the rest of your future is going to be like.
Because everybody doesn't learn the same, and everybody doesn't test well either.
Yeah.
So
No,
you
they
can't determine these numbers and these tests by the way we're going to be in the future. That's never good for anybody. Well, this is the end of Peace Talks. I'm Andre, and
I'm Will.
Caitlin.
And Alex.
see y'all next week.